Geeks Worldwide, welcome back to the GeekSide podcast. I'm your host, Darth Sparrow, and I'm excited to be back here with you on a brand new night, which is Tuesday, which, in case you're watching, you listen to us or watch us on a regular basis, we're going to be broadcasting to you on the regular for the most part on Tuesdays from now on. You know, just because, we're geeks and we're adults and we got jobs. Sometimes things just get moved around a little bit. And so, So we're going to be hitting you up on the Tuesdays now, but not just me, but I'm also talking about my co-host, the number one, my main man, Mr. Deron. Deron, what's up, man?
Hey, you know what? I love the Tuesdays because it's always better than the Wednesdays.
That's right. Hey, a Tuesdays is better than Wednesdays.
Exactly. So I'm excited about the Tuesdays. I don't know. We got to find someone. At some point, we have to do an episode with someone in the geek community named Maury. Yes. And we have to title it Tuesday with Maury because it's low-hanging fruit.
If you're a geek and you're a Maury and you got something cool to talk about, please hit us up.
But I'm good.
We just got to put it out there now, right, Deron? It's going to happen.
Exactly. We will it. It's like The Secret. We will it into existence.
Exactly. Hey, buddy, did you by any chance pick up a copy of Thor Ragnarok?
I have not picked up my copy of Thor Ragnarok yet, and I need to because there's like a whole stack of things I need to get.
Yes, I picked it up last week before the show, but I got to watch it finally over the weekend, and gosh, man, I forgot how much I enjoyed that movie and how funny it was, man.
Yeah,
it's so much fun. I've been wanting to watch it again, but I'm saving it because I've got a few friends who are like not big on streaming or big on picking up movies, and they're like, I made them swear they would come over to my house and watch it. So I'm kind of saving it up for like probably the weekend. I got to get my dad on it because my dad's a closet Marvel fan. He enjoys it. If I take him to the movies, he's like super stoked about it, but he won't go on his own. He won't rent them on his own. I'm kind of like his ticket to Marvel. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You make him feel safe. You make him feel safe in the room full of geeks.
Yeah, and it's funny because like every once in a while something will come out. Like for the most part, it's like when I get it, I'll be like, "Hey, Dad, I picked this up. You want to watch it?" He's like, "Oh yeah," but every once in a while, like for instance, Black Panther, he's like, "Hey, son, you got to take me to see the Black Panther. It looks cool." I'm like, "Don't worry, Dad."
Again, note the fact he said you have to take me to go see the Black Panther. I can't go on my own.
No.
I can't, as an adult, I can't go on my own.
No.
I mean, and that's also kind of funny because my wife's parents, my mother and father-in-law, went to go see Black Panther.
Okay.
And they are not geeks at all. Yeah. Right. Not traditionally kind of, movie people. They enjoy movies, but they don't necessarily go to theaters, but they decide they're going to have a date night. They're both retired. They're going to go see Black Panther. My mother-in-law's critique was she was awake for at least 90% of it. And that is high praise. That is high praise coming from my mother-in-law, who's a wonderful woman. And my father-in-law liked it a lot. I think at most their review was there was a lot happening.
Yeah.
It was busy. There's a lot happening on the screen.
You know, Deron, there's just some folks that no matter what they're seeing, as soon as they hit that theater seat, once we pass the previews and the credits, they're asleep. They're out. So it's like, if you get a movie that'll keep them up at least 90%, they did right.
Oh yeah, and they made the mistake of going to one of those theaters that had like the reclining chairs, the really comfortable ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hilarious, man. Speaking of Black Panther, that's a good spot to start off with our first news of the week. Black Panther has officially zoomed past $1 billion with a B at the worldwide box office with its strong opening in China this last weekend, which opened at, I believe it was $66.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big number, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, and especially again, this goes back to the argument. The argument that crashes the argument that not only can a black film make money, and not even necessarily a black film, but a predominantly black film can in fact make money overseas.
Right,
it can happen. The China
in places market, where it's not predominantly black, we'll say, okay,
right, exactly.
In China, okay, we understand Chinese people live in China. I'm sure there's a mix of people in China, but predominantly Chinese folks, not black. the movie still killed, man.
Exactly. It's killing everywhere.
Yeah.
And again, I don't ever want to hear that argument again. I should
That's
never
right.
hear another executive say, well, these kind of films with these kind of people will not sell overseas because boom.
Because it's crap.
Oh yeah. It's a crap argument.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting though, man. It's solid, and it's well deserved that movie's passed $1 billion, broken all kinds of records. And it was funny. I was thinking about the fact that not necessarily that I wanted to see, I guess, more of a direct connection to Infinity War in this movie, because I feel like the movie as a whole is kind of connection to Infinity War. We kind of, I'm trying to like get as little spoilery stuff as possible about Infinity War, but obviously we know a big chunks of it takes place as a direct, relation to Wakanda, or because of Black Panther, and even Bucky, who has been in Wakanda for a while now. So I think that's kind of something I was thinking about over the weekend. So I was like, it's kind of its own connection, its own post-credit scene there,
Yeah, I think the thing I liked about it is that rather than the real world intrudes.
Yeah.
I think what I liked about it is that rather being like another kind of nod to where they're going. I like the fact that it was that it really just in its own way wrapped up Civil War.
Right.
Like just kind of, it was one of those threads from Civil War that was kind of left open, like what was going to happen at the end. And I like how they just kind of, let's close this out. And then since we've established these relationships and these characters and these dynamics, then we go into Infinity War fresh.
Yeah.
And I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to do kind of the same thing. Is they're going to deal with another one of those threads from the end of Civil War.
Sure. Yeah. It's exciting, man. We got a lot of I feel like a lot of big Infinity War things are going to start happening. We're kind of getting in that spot. We're a little over a month away, and one thing that I've been kind of surprised about is tickets have yet to go on sale. Now there's been rumor that we're going to get another trailer pretty quick here. That was being talked about at a couple of sites. Then they reached out to Disney, and Disney said, no, we're not getting a trailer. I think they were expecting one last week. I want to say it was. I don't know if you know. Yeah. And typically, when you're running that kind of scenario, when we're waiting for that second trailer, I feel like that's usually when you get that little tag at the end. It's like tickets on sale now, so I think we're going to get that second trailer pretty quick here, man. Cause we're getting close. I feel like in the past, I mean, usually these big Marvel tentpole movies are getting their pre-sale tickets at least like 2 months in advance. And here we are, we're getting to the month mark here and we still haven't gotten anything yet. What are you thinking about that, man?
I think two things. I'm definitely with you on that. Like we should have gotten tickets are on sale.
Right.
Trailer at the beginning of this month.
Yeah.
I think if anything, if they're holding off towards the end of the month, I think it's because the date change probably changed a lot of the dynamics, and they had to work out new deals with people. Probably new deals with with I don't know, Fandango or whoever they're working with, because they were all projected and working and contracted for May 4th, and now they've got it. Now they're moving it up a week.
Yeah.
So now they get any promotions or giveaways or things like that these ticket sites were going to have. Yeah. When you pre-ordered, right, they have to change that. They probably have to deal with vendors and all that stuff. So I think it's still going to be. I think it's still going to happen. Yeah. I think they needed the extra time since they moved the date up. They needed extra time to kind of change everything around. Because I mean, there's still I'm sure there's still billboards and stuff that need to be changed.
That say May 4th on them.
Yeah, they still say May 4th. So
yeah. It sucks, Darren. I had literally just got the approval from my boss to take May 4th off, or May 3rd. We'll say May 3rd to go to because I'm going to LA to see it. I'm going to make the trip to the El Cap, which is where I've seen the other two Avengers movies. It's kind of like my tradition to go there for a big Avengers movie, and which is even harder is my wife had just gotten approval. She has to take 2 days because she works Friday. I don't. So she took Thursday and Friday off, and it was I think 2 days later, a day later, it's oh yeah, by the way, we changed the date, and I'm like, damn it! I'm excited, but I'm pissed now.
Right, exactly.
I have to rearrange shit now.
Exactly.
So luckily, as far as my work went, my boss was like, "Oh, actually, that works out better because I'm doing he does a lot of like screenings and shows. He's like, I'm gonna have a screening that weekend, so usually, obviously, we'll get the new people the following weekend, which is when I would have been gone. So it worked out. All's well.
Nice.
The Infinity Stones have realigned, and we're good.
Thanos has reshaped the universe in your favor.
Exactly. But a particular couple of people on Reddit, I don't know what clues gave them this, but they're feeling like we may get that next trailer on Friday. And if that's the case, then we might get pre-ticket sales going up on Friday. So I'm just saying we obviously don't have very many clues to confirm that information, but if I were a betting man, I would say there's a good chance because we're getting close, man.
Yeah, so the last thing you saw from Disney and Marvel Entertainment was the celebrating 10 years of Marvel Cinematic Universe trailer.
Right.
That came out.
Yeah.
But that came out at the beginning of this. Well, it's Tuesday, so it came out yesterday.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would necessarily throw something else out there on Friday, or they may wait. What I like to do is, especially if anything Marvel, I tend to look at who's going to be on ABC shows.
Who's going to be on Jimmy Kimmel and all that?
Who's going to be on Kimmel. Now, if you see like a Robert Downey Jr. or a Chris Evans going to be on Kimmel on Monday,
you better believe they're going to be dropping something big.
Exactly, dropping something big. So I'm gonna check those out. But I mean, it's a possibility on a Friday. I just think that it would be a little anticlimactic at this point.
Yeah, I agree, man. It needs to happen though, man, because I'm getting anxious. I want to at least have tickets ready to go.
Oh yeah, but see, they're gonna have to have like some really good footage if they're gonna throw another trailer up there on a Friday.
Now, Darren, I mean, personally, for me, is that especially when like Avengers, Iron Man movies come out, I tend to be a little bit more on the spoiler-free zone. I don't tend to dig as deep as I do other Marvel movies for some reason. It's kind of my thing. I'm kind of like those, like anything with Iron Man, especially. It's like obviously very special to me. I want to be completely surprised. Do you feel like it's super necessary to get another trailer? Because to me, I'm feeling like, am I even going to watch it? I'm just waiting for the trailer so I know to go buy tickets. I don't know if I'll even watch a second trailer if it comes out. I'm out to the point where I'm starting to. I mean, I don't feel like I've seen remotely even anything pertaining to the movie, the story, the plot. Obviously, we know the main idea, but I'm still feeling like I'm good. I'm starting to get a little too much already, so I'm okay. And there's been an argument. Casey was saying, well, he's been talking on Twitter with some other people back and forth, and people were saying, well, like, yeah, they need more of a backstory. They need to help promote, and we're like, yeah, they've been doing that for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
If you don't know Marvel by now or know how it all works and that's how it's all been connected leading up to this film, I don't know when you're going to know that. But but what are you feeling about a second trailer, man? Will you be watching it if we get another one?
Well, if they're going to drop a second trailer, I'm definitely going to watch it. I think what they need to do is that because Casey has a point. You have a point too. I mean, we've had 10 years of trailer in essence.
Yeah.
For Infinity War. I think the only thing they could do that would really, just kind of hammer home in this new trailer is show me the Black Order.
Yeah.
Show me something along those lines. Show me the other side of the coin. I'm seeing the heroes in action. I want to see Thanos and the villains like getting ready to battle. Like I don't want to see their plan. But I kind of want to see I want to get a notion of the menace that they're going to engender.
Darren, for maybe those who are listening who just strictly know their Marvel from the MCU and have not necessarily read the comics that they're based off of, give me a little details on the Black Order.
Well, the Black Order are the children of Thanos. So if you look at if you think about you think about and it's literally you think about the nebula.
I know one of them's like Proxima Midnight or something like that, right?
Yeah, you got Ebony Maw and all of that. But they're they're a team that was created by Thanos, and this This says this Black Dwarf. Now, here's the thing. So I don't know if it's still true that it is literally on the tip of my tongue. Tyrion Lannister. If he
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, yes.
Yeah,
I don't know if Peter Dinklage is still like, it was a rumor that he was going to be playing a character. And that is he Black Dwarf? I don't know. But you got Black Dwarf, you got Corvus Glaive, you got Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, and Supergiant. Okay. But they were created. They're basically Thanos's kind of Black Ops team. I think that's why they call like the Black Order. Like, right. They're his elite soldiers. Like, they go in and they decimate entire worlds.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's sending them to Earth means that there's something really important there. I don't even know if it's necessary. I don't know if he would send the entire Black Order to get one Infinity Stone.
Right.
The fact that so many are in proximity that he's just going to go ahead and just send them all out there. So that's kind of what I want to see. It's like, I like the Black Order as a concept, and I want to see how they're used. But I don't want you. But on the other side of me, it's like, don't show me everything.
Yeah.
Don't show me everything in the film. But at the same time, I think I have the anticipation that I want to see something new before I sit down and just immediately give over of myself to this movie.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. It's funny that you started talking. We were talking about the children of Thanos, because recently Josh Brolin, the Mad Titan himself, apparently has seen about 30 minutes of the film and called it amazing. I would be hard pressed to say he's going to say anything else about it.
Yeah.
Seeing as how he's the main big bad in that movie. But another couple other things that we're talking about was about his children, and if Thanos does actually have any real affection for his kids and things like that. So it's cool to know that the Mad Titan himself approves of the what has so far the product that has been put out by Marvel. I don't know. It seems like Marvel sometimes, especially lately, has been tweaking things up until the very last minute. And I think now with digital and how movies are formatted and put on the screen, it's easier for them to do those things. I mean, we saw what was it, 2 weeks before Avengers came out, they put out that last post-credit scene. They were rushing around to film that. So who knows what they're still doing? Who knows if it's even completely done?
Oh yeah, I mean they're great at that. It's like, even if you really think about like all the Civil War stuff when those trailers were out, and how, like, if you think about every scene, especially like the airport fight where that had so much Spider-Man in it, and you think about those trailers and you saw no Spider-Man at all.
You know that was like a last, like up to the last like month or two, they were throwing that in there.
Exactly. So I mean, I'm excited for it, because I think there's going to be, I think everything that they're giving us is only maybe 10% of what we're going to see on the screen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because again, there's so much, so many characters and such a dense story that they have to tell that I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what we're going to see in the actual film.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic they can put out another trailer and have it not spoil anything.
Yeah. Have you read anything about the runtime of this film? Do we know how long it's going to be?
I've heard it's the longest, but I haven't looked at the actual runtime. But if it's less than 2.5 hours, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you look at like The Last Jedi at 2.5 hours, I think you got way more story.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: who's really going to complain?
Yeah, for this movie, I don't think anybody would complain, man.
Exactly. I think if any movie that deserved kind of like the 2:45,
if we're pushing close to 3 hours, that I'd be really happy.
Exactly.
We'd feel like we'd get max Avengers ability here.
Right.
Yeah. I'm God, man. As the days tick away, man, I'm getting more and more excited. I don't know about you.
I know, it's so close. That's the thing I keep thinking about. I know, remember, like last year was so far away. It was like
oh, we still got a whole other year.
I know, it's the thing on the horizon. And now it is next month.
Yes,
it is a month away.
One of the few times that I'm happy that, like, oh wait, we're almost tomorrow. We're halfway through the month.
I know.
Halfway through the month, closer to Infinity War.
Yep.
I've started my buying frenzy of anything Iron Man Infinity War related. So I so
Awesome.
far have the Marvel Legends figure. I found the Funko Pop, and I got the 2-pack of mini mates with him and Thanos in it. So
Nice.
they're sitting on my table. I haven't even opened them yet.
I have something that, once I finish putting it together, I'm going to go ahead and show everyone, but I mean, I'm not even going to bury the lead. I might as well just say it. I got the Lego Sanctum Sanctorum.
Ooh, that's cool, man.
So it's going to be awesome. Once I finish getting it together, I'm just going to I'm going to have I'm going to do like a YouTube video and then just have royalty free music playing and just like a person's like, look at the sleek lines. Yeah. Exactly.
You gotta love that royalty-free music on the YouTubes, man.
Exactly.
Good stuff, buddy. On the other big comic book movie company camp, of course, I'm talking about DC. Somebody, hey, you know what, Darren? Even celebrities have dreams, and just because they're millionaires doesn't mean those dreams always come true. Okay, but for Nicolas Cage, one of his lifelong dreams is finally coming true. And if you don't know anything about Nicolas Cage, shame on you, because he's like one of the biggest Superman fans in the public eye that we know of. I mean, his kid's name is Kal-El.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was it the first issue of Action Comics that he used to own, and apparently he sold off for like $2.1 million or something like that.
Yep.
But apparently, and of course, if you haven't seen anything, there was once a time in life where Nick Cage almost played Superman on the big screen under the direction of Tim Burton. If you look around, you can kind of see some of those interviews and some of the costume fittings. It's really interesting.
Right. There's a documentary called the
life
I think it's the life and death of the death and return of Superman or something along those lines. Yeah. But it lays out a lot of that stuff. And when you're saying close, and there were costume tests.
Yes.
There were you could see it was more than just concept art and a script. There were
usually you're at the costume test phase. You're like a few more weeks and you're ready to start rolling camera right there.
Exactly. I mean, that's what pre-production is all about. This wasn't even concept. This was stuff getting ready to go.
Right. Well, apparently Nick Cage is going to get his wish. On the silver screen? No. On a television show? Oh no. He's going to get to play Superman on the Teen Titans Go to the movies animated film that'll be coming out pretty quick. I think that's really hilarious, man. Okay, so I don't know how Nicolas Cage's voice is gonna fit as Superman. Okay, I'm really kind of scratching my brain about that one. It's it's one thing. It's different to look at him in the costume fitting stuff in that documentary and kind of see all that. But just his voice on an animated Superman, I'm still kind of it's gonna be interesting.
I'm really a world protector. I'm Superman.
Yeah,
that's the closest
just get the kryptonite out here now, for God's sakes. But how in Zod's butthole?
Exactly.
That's kind of funny, man. Do you think it's kind of funny that they have Nick Cage playing Superman?
They're killing Martha.
Yes. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are not a big fan of the Teen Titans Go. I watch it because it's stupid and it's funny sometimes, just to kind of have it on in the background and you pick up some of the jokes and the random shit that they throw out in that show. But apparently Nick Cage isn't the only big name that they've got coming on in this movie. I guess we also have Halsey playing Wonder Woman and Little Yachty. I don't know who Little Yachty is, playing Green Lantern.
Well, it's Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty.
Yeah, and I only know the name because I've seen him on a commercial once. I don't I've listened to the music and it's just
not a fan. No. Yeah, that's okay.
But hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Let Lil Yachty do what Lil Yachty does, which is whatever the hell it is. Now, I mean, I like Teen Titans Go. It's not my favorite iteration, but it's fun. It's fun because they've gone from kind of being a little bit serious to just kind of leaning into the absurdity, and I'm absolutely fine with that, because then you get some really some really cool references kind of thrown in that you weren't expecting,
Yeah.
and that's always good. So
it's even funny if you really start to pay attention to a lot of the background scenes and what's going on. You'll catch funny things like Batman posters or like Wonder Woman cereal, like random stuff like that. And it's kind of a lot of times it's chock full of little DC Easter eggs. If you're paying attention, you'll catch them, and it's really funny. You're just kind of like, did I really just see that? It's good. It's so good, man. But yes, Nick Cage, good on you, man. You finally get to play Superman. Who cares if it's in a Teen Titans Go animated movie? You do you, man.
Hey, exactly. I mean, you never know.
Yes, I know. We're talking about the Holy Trinity of DC tonight, buddy. Because also on the newscape in the geek world, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been, I guess, talking a little bit more about that big rumor that we might get him as Thomas Wayne Batman in the Flashpoint movie. He says it would be the thrill of a lifetime to play Batman. Surprise, surprise. He's JDM. It's like, automatically when JDM was in the DC universe, you're kind of like, okay, if he doesn't play Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint movie, they fucked up royally. Okay, you kind of already knew that, and it's cool because Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I think he's a big geek too, and he kind of hears these things and sees it, and he already knows that he'd be awesome in this movie. He says, I want to know about the Flashpoint movie is, for me, I think he's not only the darkest of the Batman, but the coolest, and I love his whole storyline and who he is, and the tortured soul of it all.
Yeah,
I don't know, Darren. I almost feel like it's already kind of a for sure thing. We don't know about it, but I think it's already going to happen.
I think the smartest thing that celebrities and stars are doing right now is that they're kind of campaigning for the things that they want, based on the fact that they love them as fans,
right?
And that's always good, because if you can do that, you're going to bring something awesome to the performance.
Absolutely.
At the same time,
you're not just in there for a paycheck, or to get your name on a big movie.
Exactly. And JDM, he was awesome as comedian. Mm-hmm. He's amazing on Walking Dead. He's a great actor, and I think he would kill as Thomas Wayne.
Oh yeah.
Same time, I think it's the wrong movie to be made right now, especially for DC.
Right.
I can't. I mean, in essence, you're giving yourself permission to reboot your universe. Mm-hmm. And it's so blatantly obvious that that there's a level of desperation on top of it.
Yeah.
It's like Flashpoint is something that you build to.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at it from the standpoint of, a casual fan, maybe you're not somebody who knows a lot about the Flash. There's a lot of like very, we'll say, difficult flashy things to be able to create a thing like Flashpoint. It's not like something that if you've only seen Flash on Justice League, or maybe you've only watched a couple episodes of Flash on the Arrowverse, you're going to be like, okay, wait a minute. How did he change reality and time? You're going to be lost a little bit, I think.
Yeah. And then,
like you said, you got to build up to something like that.
Yeah. And I'll get even more granular about it.
Yeah.
You have to create a world that we remember and care about
in order to change it and have the reaction that you need.
Exactly. In order to change it to the point where we're like, this seems different.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not doing that, then there's no stakes in changing anything at all.
Yeah. So I agree, buddy. You know what? They've already officially said they're making Flashpoint, right? Is that a for sure thing?
I think it's one of those things where they're so committed to it, that if they say they're not going to make it, it's gonna cause a huge issue. If anything, I mean, they've gone through 3 directors at this point.
Yeah.
So it's at this point they're pot committed. Like they have to do it, and if they don't do it, which they shouldn't do, I think at this point that you take the hit. Mm-hmm. You regroup, and then you come back stronger. At this point, they're almost kind of pushing themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
With this movie, and I think a great Flash movie can be made.
Yeah.
By Warner Brothers with the cast that they have. I just think that you need to establish why we should care about that world and about Barry before you put him in a position where he's changing all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, buddy, that being said, and we know that they're good, Warner Brothers is going to put out what they want. At the very least, they could go about putting solid, good actors that at least people will fill seats to go see them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other member of the DC Trinity, we're talking about the wonderful Wonder Woman, has been a buzz as of lately because we've got some big casting news as to the villain or one of the villains in the sequel to the highly successful uber blockbuster Wonder Woman. And it kind of took me by surprise, man, because the lady who's been cast as Cheetah, who's kind of like one of Wonder Woman's main villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is being played by somebody who's mostly known for her comedic chops. And if you haven't heard the news, we're talking about none other than Miss Bridemaid herself. Also, she was in Ghostbusters, who everybody wants to forget about. We're talking about SNL alumni Kristen Wiig. Now, buddy, personally, I'm a huge fan of Kristen Wiig. She's hilarious. I definitely like her comedy stuff. I haven't seen too much of her serious stuff. The biggest thing that comes to mind for me is that one with Ben Stiller, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Yeah. Remember her from that. But it's kind of interesting. The more I think about it, and this is just as a not uberly detailed comic book Wonder Woman guy. Okay, I'd never read a lot of Wonder Woman back in my day. Cheetah always seemed to me like a very over the top 1966 Batman villain. I mean, she's wearing a cheetah suit for God's sakes. Okay, so if we're looking at it in that perspective, somebody like Kristen Wiig fits the bill for that role to me. She's good at playing crazy and off the wall. She can play serious. I don't know what other people are thinking about it. I know it's like everything else in the geek world when we get big news like this, where it seems like we're split half and half. Somebody, you either love it or you hate it. And some people are like, well, she's too funny. How's she going to play, Cheetah in, we'll say, the Wonder Woman universe? We know it's a little more serious in tone. It's more realistic. Not quite that old school like Batman 66 or even the Linda Carter feel of it. What are you thinking about the choice to cast Kristen Wiig as Cheetah?
Well, two things. One, yeah, I was taken aback too because she is an amazing she's an amazing actress. I've seen a couple of dramatic roles that she's done. She's done them very well. I saw there was a movie where she was like I can barely remember. I can remember the plot. I can not remember the name. It was her and Bill Hader was also on Saturday Night Live. They played twins, and it was a really kind of dramatic film. She was really great in that. She was great in The Martian.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'll put it to you this way: I trust Patty Jenkins's vision.
Oh yeah,
and the fact that she has wanted her for that role. Means that she's either written something that's specifically for her skill set,
right,
or she's seen something in her performance that we haven't.
Yeah, that she knows that Kristen will be able to pull off.
Exactly.
Right.
And my knowledge of Cheetah is like beyond there are iterations where she's just a campy villain, and then there's iterations where she's like an obsessed scientist, and that I think there's probably going to be more of that.
Yeah.
On the lines than anything else. I mean, because I think this movie takes place during the Cold War.
Okay.
So there's going to be probably a lot of, experimentation, like we have to beat the Russians, that kind of storyline. And she's probably going to be a scientist kind of caught up in that.
Yeah.
And then she's going to be, probably genetic testing.
So you say we're going to get a little bit of Catwoman mixed with a little bit of Dr. Pamela Isley / Poison Ivy.
Well, in a way, yeah. If you can kind of look at it from the visual standpoint, yeah. But the character is nuanced a little bit more than that. I mean, she's like beyond just hating. Like she doesn't just blindly hate Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like she just kind of wants what Wonder Woman has as far as power and ability. So
sure.
So we'll see what the motivations are. I think more along the lines is that she's going to be either the pawn of the main villain, or at least answerable to the main villain of the movie.
Yeah,
I don't think she's the main villain. I think she's one of.
Yeah. Do you feel like being the main villain. Cheetah's not quite big enough a villain, or doesn't quite have the chops, we'll say, as a character to just fulfill that role solely.
I think as a villain, there's not enough mythology established to make her kind of, the big bad of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, she's, even in the comics, she's effective in her. She's effective as a villain when it's just about her versus Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need in a film, you need a villain with a bigger plan, and I don't think you really get that from Cheetah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I hear what you're saying, man, and just for the fact alone of what I do love about Kristen Wiig, I'm excited to see how she's gonna fit in like you said, Patty Jenkins's vision, because like you said, we already know that she knows what she's doing when it comes to Wonder Woman. We've already seen it, so I feel like that to me, makes me a little bit more comfortable in the decisions that they're making as far as who they're casting in this next one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stoked, man. I'm ready for more Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Even if we just get a little bit of funny Kristen Wiig in that, I'll be super happy.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna have those moments to see what's really helped me. What's really, kind of gotten to me is that now I'm speculating onto who the big bad is.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where I want to see it go. And I would love, honestly, if they kind of take the through line from the end of Justice League with the whole Lex Luthor kind of building his own team. Right. I would love to kind of see the big bad in Wonder Woman be Vandal Savage.
Ooh, that would be cool, man.
Yeah, because I think if with any other character, with Batman or Superman, it probably wouldn't work.
Right.
But adding the mythological and the history and the time elements with Vandal Savage and Wonder Woman, I think it works. I think it works a lot better. I think have him be the big bad.
So Deron, what I do know about Vandal Savage is from Legends of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
How accurate is the portrayal of that character in that show as compared to the comic books?
It's pretty accurate. I mean, okay. Vandal Savage in the comics was a Neanderthal who was mutated. He was given metahuman powers, including immortality,
right,
by a meteor strike.
Okay.
And he spent millennia just being in the background, conquering, manipulating others to conquer,
orchestrating things,
exactly, orchestrating things in the background. So I'm absolutely, so if they're talking about taking this, and if they're taking this in the past, then I think he's kind of the perfect through line villain to just be like, hey, you know what? I've been here from the beginning. I've seen all of this. This is what I'm leading towards.
Yeah.
And then, just kind of go from there.
I'd like to see that, man. I thought he was a really cool villain, and he's very complex, being that he's lived for so long. He's got so many layers to him, and he's so smart, man. He's such one of those cool villains that you're like, gosh, dude, this guy's not necessarily like a Thanos level villain, but he's so damn smart and he's so good at manipulating things. You just kind of you never know what he's actually working behind. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm digging it, man. I think that'd be cool, buddy. I like that idea. Let's see what else we got. Other big movie news. Ready Player One, which would be coming out soon, had its big premiere at South by Southwest. They even brought the man himself, Mr. Steven Spielberg, out to talk about the movie. Apparently, the final battle scene was so loud that they had to restart the movie 2 times. Okay. Yeah, which I find interesting. So that means there's a whole crap ton of stuff going on in those last couple scenes there. But obviously, not really surprising to me. The movie got really good reactions from the crowd, standing ovation, people saying things like, I loved Ready Player One. It's perhaps the geekiest movie ever made. So happy right now. Somebody else, Frank Pallotta, said, is nerdy as all hell, but it's hard not to leave the theater with a huge smile on your face. Pure Spielbergian joy.
Yeah.
Just from a guy who doesn't know anything about the source material, to me, it's just an 80s, 90s nostalgia fest. That alone makes me excited for the movie. Besides the concept, obviously, it's a very, very relevant thing. I mean, virtual reality is huge right now. It's, I
Mhm.
mean, everybody's getting into it. You can get it at home now. It's not like back in the day when we were younger and you had to go to some big arcade, a big fancy arcade to play it with the big little arena thing, the big old headsets.
Exactly, the
Not like that.
harnesses and all that. Mhm.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Everybody's doing VR now, so I feel like it's the perfect time to put out a movie like this, and the fact that it's infused with all those like things. You see everything from like Batman to Iron Giant to Back to the Future. I mean, you if you look closely in some of the trailers you've seen, you see so many characters from
Mhm.
video games and cartoons and things that we all grew up on. So that alone has me super excited about this, man. Um, what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously we haven't got like, I guess we'll say the actual like critics reviews yet, but does
Mhm.
it surprise you that it got this kind of reaction?
It doesn't surprise me, and I've actually kind of seen a couple of negative reviews on it,
Yeah,
and it's it. I've read them, but they don't deter me because I really want to see this film.
yeah,
Because here's the thing: I think this film is Spielberg reminding people who started the blockbuster genre.
yeah.
Like, he really is just kind of saying, "Hey guys, remember all this shit you love
You remember
every
Jaws and
exactly
ET and all that other good stuff?
all that great shit you've loved every summer since the early to mid 70s.
Right.
That was me and George,
Yes.
and we're gonna show you why we kind of did why
Right.
we created that genre. So I mean, I think him kind of throwing in everything that has become popular in the last few decades,
Yeah.
just throwing it in there because that's the generation we've shaped. That's the generation we are. More likely is going to be the generation our kids are, and then the where this takes place in time, all of those things are going to culminate into the things that we find that entertain us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it makes absolute sense for you to have Freddy Krueger fighting characters from Overwatch
Yeah.
with the Iron Giant coming in and somebody sliding in a DeLorean. And nothing about that does not make sense to me
Sure.
because anytime we go into a video game,
Yeah.
we want to become other people. We
We
want to
want to
become
see
those
that.
other characters. We want to see it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think the best thing they could do is just like a huge, massive Ready Player One game for like PS4 or
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Xbox One. It would be ridiculous and it would never happen, but it would be the dream. But that being said, the negative criticism I've seen has basically just been saying, hey, you know what, it's too much. I'm
Mm,
like, okay, then it was too much for you.
yeah.
Doesn't mean it's necessarily too much. Or it's saying there's well, this is the people who will always try to determine how you should be portrayed as a
Mhm.
geek.
Right.
And that's always the worst thing you can say because there are always going to be different types of geeks.
Yep. I agree,
Like
buddy.
there's a reason why things are called a culture. And it doesn't mean a Greek culture, or black culture, or Latino culture. There's always going to be culture encompasses ideas and different
Mhm.
points of view.
Sure.
There's never one set of anything.
Mhm.
So to say this is geek
Mhm.
and everything else is pandering to it means that you're talking about your interpretation of geek versus what geek is, which
Right.
is everybody.
Yeah. It's a lot like that whole what's cosplay argument, buddy.
Thank you.
Cosplay is costume play. That's all there's a definition for.
Mhm.
It doesn't say that in order to be a cosplayer you have to make your own costume. It doesn't say that you have to only cosplay as anime characters. It's just
Mhm.
it is what it is, and that's the way geek is, man. Whatever is your geek, that's what it is. That's what being a geek is. You know what I mean? It's whatever floats your boat, tickles your pickle, and all that good stuff.
Exactly.
But it's funny that you said that somebody said it's too much. If you've played VR now on a good setup, that's the first thing you think. You're like, this
Yeah.
is almost too much.
Yeah.
So to me, having all that shit makes sense.
Right. And in essence, what you're basically saying is that even like your negative criticism is that it did exactly what it was intended to do.
Right.
So and that's so your critique is, hey, you know what? This immersed me in a world
Yeah.
full of characters. So and I didn't like it. So that's basically
Poppycock.
exactly. So
I don't
again,
like it.
more reflection on you than it was on the film, which basically did exactly what it intended to do.
Yes. Well, buddy, I for one will have my happy little ass in a movie theater we'll say Thursday, the night before it releases, which is March 29th. It's coming soon, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go on my own.
Yeah,
because if I take like my kids or my wife, I'm gonna spend the entire movie saying that's who that. Yeah, that's from yeah.
they're like, who's that guy, Dad? Who's that
exactly.
guy?
Oh, that's
like,
the only thing that's gonna drive me nuts when I actually see that with my kids.
You know what? That'll be easier for them on the home viewing, right?
Exactly.
When you can pause and go, okay, that's that person. That's that person.
Mm-hmm.
They're from that game.
Exactly.
Yeah, good stuff, buddy. Good stuff. That we got a lot of cool stuff before Infinity War that we can look forward to and geek out about.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of geeking out, man, I woke up pretty geeked out this morning. Okay, you guys have heard me pretty much every episode for since we started. Throw in Harry Potter somewhere. And I'm even if you're watching, I'm wearing my Gryffindor Quidditch jersey that my wife got me for Christmas.
Nice.
Because there was a big, beautiful, exciting teaser trailer that dropped this morning, and we're talking about the trailer for Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, which is the sequel to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, buddy, when I say like it's time to return to Hogwarts, like we're being serious on this movie.
Yeah.
Because the opening shot of that trailer is a bunch of, I'm guessing, is probably Aurors apparating onto the grounds of Hogwarts, and obviously this was before they made the whole you can't apparate in and out of Hogwarts rule, or there's some loophole there. But I mean, so many cool things happening in this movie, man. We got to see Jude Law finally as Dumbledore, other than just in a still shot, which we can talk about a little bit. Instantly sold me on his portrayal of a younger Dumbledore. I mean, he's got the charisma and the way he talks and the things he says. It's all Dumbledore, man. Just the little bit we heard from him, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm sold. I'm already sold on him.
Yeah, he got a little bit of swag in that suit there too.
Does, man.
Like, oh, look at it. I was like, man.
Yeah, look at you go, Dumbledore. Of course we
double damn.
Yeah, Dumble Dam is right, man. We got to see that. Of course, we got to see the familiar faces that we all came to love from the first film, like Newt, of course, Queenie, Jacob's back, and very excitedly, like us, excited that he gets to be along for another round of wizarding craziness with his buddy Newt. We got more shots of Grindelwald. Mr. Johnny Depp is him. We saw Lita Lestrange. New beasts, cool things happening, like a big giant horse-drawn carriage where they're transporting Grindelwald. I mean, I don't know, my admittedly in reality muggle, but at heart wizard self is going nuts about everything I saw in this trailer. And my first reaction is it seems like the tone of this film is going to be maybe not as whimsical, but a little more darker, a little more serious. But that's not to say that it's going to be lacking action, because just from the bits we've seen in the trailer, it looked like there's a whole lot of action going on, man. What's your initial thoughts on the trailer, buddy?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I mean, just everything about it, from that opening shot at Hogwarts to that closing shot where it looked like Newton and his brother just kind of getting just
some cool like wall spell.
Right. It looked like they're making some kind of like the world's most awesome barrier, like magic barrier. Like that was amazing. So just from start to finish, everything about this reminded me of everything that I love about the world of Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Besides the magic and the mystery, just I love the fact that you have Dumbledore already kind of doing things his own way. I like the fact that he's already kind of got his own secrets where he's telling Newt, it's like, look, I can't do this on my own.
Yeah,
like, you have
to. Got to be you.
It's got to be you. And I can't go out there and do it at all just because there's people watching me. I love the fact that Dumbledore is going to do what's right, even if everyone else thinks he's doing it the wrong way.
Right.
And the fact that Newt's kind of reluctantly getting involved, but at the same time, he's doing what he needs to. Like everything in that, even without story, everything in that trailer just kind of caught my attention.
Yeah. So much, man. It's so much good. If you're a fan of the Wizarding World, Harry Potter, you love the first movie, I have a feeling that we're gonna love even more the second go around, man. And just knowing like the foreshadowed events that happen in the Wizarding World, it makes me even more excited to kind of see those big events start to take shape. You know what I mean? Because this is definitely a prequel, and there's a lot of things that we see in these movies that will directly relate to the Potter films, and it'll be cool to kind of see how all those things ultimately connect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the only thing I would hope is that those connections happen organically.
Yeah.
That it's not something that just kind of is thrown in there. I don't need to, I'll be honest with you, I don't need to see a Potter.
Yeah.
I don't need to see a Potter ancestor. I don't need to see, at the most, I mean, because there's so many of them, you can pop a Weasley in there.
Yeah.
But I don't need to necessarily see, I don't need to have a whole lot of interaction with the characters from Harry Potter or their, you know, their progenitors in these films, because I want the story of, I want Newt Scamander's story.
That's a really good point, buddy. And it's funny because I commented on somebody was saying something on, can't remember if it was on Twitter or Facebook, but somebody was saying, "Oh, I hope we'll get a little bit more of the backstory of the Wizarding World lore." I'm like, dude, there's something called 7 novels of Harry Potter, 8 movies, a ton of like crap you can find on Pottermore, little side novels that are full of the lore of the Wizarding World. We, like you said, we don't need an inorganic connection. We already know those things connect. If you've seen the movies, you already know how they connect.
Exactly.
If you want more detail how they connect and you haven't read the books, you need to read the books.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's kind of like it's already out there. We don't need somebody to spoon feed us. And by the way, this is how Harry did that one thing in movie 3.
Oh yeah, I mean it would be something like an organic thing would be like with Leo Lestrange. That happened organically. They knew each other from school. That's gonna develop.
Sure.
Like something inorganic would be along the lines of, hey, like Newt's gonna get on a train and actually bumps into Harry Potter's grandfather.
Right.
That's something, and you know, and he is, oh, sorry, Mr. Potter. That's something that's not paying.
Like,
that's not paying. Right. So that's not paying fan service. That's pandering.
Right.
So.
Legitimate pandering.
Exactly.
Well, my friend, we have a little bit of time, but for me, November 16th can't come fast enough, man.
No.
To be there with bells and whistles. We're gonna get the whole Wizarding crew out there. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful stuff, man. Why don't we talk a little bit about what we did this week in the wide world of geek, my friend? Would you partake of this week?
I didn't partake of a whole lot of geek stuff other than a lot of reading. I'm catching up on a lot of comics. Mm-hmm. So I'm just I'm trying to enjoy a lot of the Marvel, the new Marvel stuff, the legacy stuff before they go to fresh start, mm-hmm. which, you know, I'm a little bit on the fence about, but mm-hmm. I've been really into Dan Slott's Amazing Spider-Man run. Like, it's just so many really great classic style Spider-Man stories.
Yeah.
And even like this last one, you got you got, you know, Norman Osborn is back and he's merged with the Carnage symbiote. So
that's kind of scary.
Exactly. That's going to be some scary stuff coming up. Yeah. And it's such a great build that they're doing. Like, they're not doing too much, but like this last issue, he's kidnapped someone and you don't know who it is until the last panel. And the last panel, you're just like, oh shit. Yeah. And like the whole time he's just like, he wants information about Spider-Man. And there's so many different people that it could be. Like, you see little vignettes with Mary Jane Watson. You see little vignettes with Flash Thompson and all this stuff. So it could be anybody, but the final reveal at the end is just is worth reading the issue for. I think that was number 797.
Okay.
That came out last week. So
cool, man.
Is that one. And then just Mark Waid and Chris Samnee's run on Captain America looks like it's kind of coming to a close. Mm-hmm. And that's been fun. And then Doctor Strange Damnation by Donny Cates is just, it's an amazing story. You got Doctor Strange resurrecting Las Vegas, mm-hmm. which got destroyed in Secret Empire.
Okay.
And unfortunately, him resurrecting Las Vegas and the people that died brings Mephisto with it, and Mephisto has a big old casino right in the middle of the strip, and he's collecting souls. Like every minor sin is now punishable by you losing your soul.
This is literally the plot for Cuphead, Darren.
Yeah.
He's got the Devil's Casino. You're collecting souls for him. Let's go. That's awesome, man.
Those are some great books. I'm really just kind of waiting on towards the end of this month so I can get that last issue of Metal from DC.
Okay.
And I really want to talk to Scott Snyder again about it, just because I love having him tell me about the story, because I always get so many different layers including the reading. So
sure,
that's my geek stuff.
Awesome, buddy. You know what? It's funny. I was thinking about, like, what did I do? And I just remembered something that we have not talked about, man. And that, of course, is Jessica Jones. We haven't talked about Jessica Jones. Now it's officially released. I have not finished. I'm 2 episodes shy of finishing this season of Jessica Jones. And you gave us a little bit of a pre-review last time on the show, and how it maybe started a little slow, picked up steam. So far, I feel like I like this season, I will say, equally as much as I like the first one.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying, kind of the character development and where they've taken the characters, where we find them now. I always kind of, especially when you're dealing with somebody who kind of has a mysterious origin like Jessica Jones, I always like that whole road of discovery that the hero goes on when she's trying to find out her past and kind of how she became. And so those kind of stories always intrigue me, and you definitely have that. So I won't really spoil any details, because I know it's still pretty fresh and a lot of people haven't seen it. But it's a solid show. I mean, it's still got a good level of action and intrigue and that whole detective feel that Jessica Jones is kind of known for. I'm really loving it, man. I'm definitely anxious to see how it ends and where the characters end up, man. But now that you've seen the rest of it, what's your final reaction on the show?
Okay, I absolutely loved the back half of episodes, like 6 through 13. I thought they were amazing. I thought the build up from the first 5 really pays off, especially towards the end. I mean, I am in awe of Carrie-Anne Moss's performance this season.
Oh, stellar, man. Like, phenomenal.
God. Like, she is amazing. Like, every episode that she's in, like, she's just, like, everything that's happening to her this season just adds so many different layers.
Yeah.
That I'm transfixed when I see her on the screen. Like,
what's cool, what's great is she's obviously popped up in a lot of the other Netflix shows, and she's always one of those characters. Every time she's on, I'm like, I want more of her. I want to see more about her and what she's about and what she's done. And you really get a good sense of who she is, kind of what makes her tick, and how she deals with, we'll say, big life altering events.
Yeah, exactly. And I've finished the entire season, so like I can tell you, no spoilers. Like the last episode is gonna knock you off your butt. There's gonna be some stuff in there. There's gonna be some reveals. There's gonna be some stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some character. There's gonna be some character dynamics. There's gonna be some changes for everyone involved. Some big ones.
Yeah.
I said the only negative thing that I have about this season is I can't stand the character of Oscar. I just the guy and his kid. Yeah. I mean, I don't particularly dislike the guy and his kid. They just don't seem to have a reason.
Did we really need them? Did we really need that whole dynamic?
Exactly. Other than the one thing that he is useful for.
Yeah.
Like, his entire arc just never seemed to go anywhere. Yeah. He's about as, and I guess since you're towards the end, I guess to say he's about as useful as Trisha's boyfriend.
Okay. Yeah.
In the first few episodes.
Right.
He just has a longer arc.
He's just kind of like, like you said, for what he's used for, you feel like that could have easily been done by just some back alley guy who,
Thank you.
Jessica almost beat up, but she didn't because he's like, well, I could do this for you.
Some guy who owes her a favor could have
Right.
taken that entire subplot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
so I'm
just
like,
concentrated on more.
I don't know if it's, part of, it's not too spoily romantic aspects. Maybe they were trying to humanize her a little more. I don't know. I just, like you said, I don't really feel like it's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, man, it's definitely a solid show. And it definitely cements my ranking of her character and shows up there with, puts them at the top for me, right under Daredevil / Punisher, because those guys are my top two right there. So, but she's next on that list. So I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm interesting to see what's next for her.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Punisher, like Stanley tweeted out a set photo that season 2 Punisher is filming.
Yeah.
So we saw anytime you see a bloody John Bernthal, like
it's good.
Some
shit's going down. Absolutely, buddy. He's so good, man. He's so good as Punisher.
He was so awesome.
God, killer, man. I'm ready. I'm definitely ready for season 2 of that. Yeah. But my friends, that's a good spot to wrap up tonight. Mr. Deron, generally, will you want to drop me with some final thoughts and your beautiful infos on where all these people can find you, places where they can go check out your write-up and link to the Fantastic Beast trailer and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Well, I mean, as far as final thoughts go buy some comics. Yeah. Like, really just go buy some comics. Like even if it's a character you like, buy the comics. You don't have to buy the entire run. Yeah. But buy it to kind of immerse yourself in maybe 1 or 2 issues in that character story and what you enjoy about that character. It'll give you a better appreciation for what you see on screen. Mm-hmm. And it'll kind of inoculate you from everyone that says it has to be this way. Yeah. It has to be my way. You can say, hey, you know what? This is what I see. And you'll be able to see certain aspects of a character on the big screen that you saw in the comic. And you'll be able to tell people, hey, you know what? You're wrong, or here's my opinion, and be able to speak intelligently about it. So go buy comics. Just go buy them for the sheer joy of sitting down and reading them. Yep. Yeah. But you can find me on Twitter at superpoweredfan. You follow, I follow back. We talk, we laugh, we play games. We talk about exotic cheeses and fine wines. Yes. You can find but you can find news articles and trailers, things that I talk about and post on my website, www.superpoweredfancast.com. You can find other news items and comic book reviews on Geeks Worldwide website, www.thegww.com.
Booyah. Thank you, buddy. Keep doing what you do, man. You put a lot of good news stuff up there, and y'all people should be checking out Deron's website for sure, my friend. Right. So thank you, man, because I know you always got that button ready to post something when the news hits. Exactly. You're on it, man.
Ready to pounce on it like a panther.
That's right. You're our own personal Flash. Friends, Deron already dropped the G-Dubs website. You can check us out on Twitter at us personally. You can check us out at _GeekSide pod. You can find me over there on Twitter at Darsparrow, which is also my Instagram. If you want to see pictures of me doing crazy shit, opening Harry Potter stuff, comic book things. I went to MiniCon this weekend, so there's some pics up from that. Love to have you guys. Your support, your following is always much appreciated. Join us next Tuesday when we'll be back, hopefully with our awesome friend Christina Walker, to talk more about geek in the worldwide of geek and everything else that's happened in the week. So we hope to see you. Final thought, have a fun, safe, and adult or not adult St. Patty's Day this weekend. Don't get too crazy on that green beer. If you're drinking, have a DD, and stay happy, my friends.
Exactly.
As always, we'll catch you next week on the Geek Side.